Hiya, I'm here again, back with Plop the Owl. And this one is Dark is Wonderful. That was nice, said Plop when he had a gulp down what his father had brought. What was it? A shrew, said his father. I like shrews, said Plop. What's next? A short pause, said Mrs. Barn Owl. Let your poor daddy get his breath back. All right, said Plop. But do hurry up, Daddy. Shrews are nice, but they're not very big, are they? This one feels very lonely all by itself in the bottom of my tummy. It needs company. I don't believe there is a bottom to your tummy, said his father. No matter how much I put into it, it is never full. Oh well, I suppose I'd better go and hunt for something else to cast into that bottomless pit. That's what fathers are for, said Plop. Wouldn't you like to go hunting too, Mummy? It would be a nice change for you. Thank you very much, said Mrs. Barn Owl. What you really mean is that you won't have to wait so long between courses. But I will certainly go if you don't mind being left. Why don't you come with us, said his father. Then you wouldn't have to wait at all. Plop looked around at the creeping darkness. No thank you, Daddy, he said. I've got some more remembering to do. Righto, said Mr. Barn Owl. Ready, dear? Plop's parents took off together, side by side, their great white wings almost touching. Plop sat outside the nest hole and watched them drift away into the darkness until they melted into each other and then disappeared altogether. It took quite a long time because the stars were coming out and Plop could see a long way by their light with his owl eyes. He remembered what his mother had said about dark never being black. It certainly was not black tonight. It was more of a misty grey, and the sky was pricked with all tiny little stars. Drat, said a voice from somewhere below. Plop started and peered down through the leaves. There was a man with some sort of contraption set up in front of him, standing there scowling up at the cloud which had hidden the moon. What was he doing? Plop shut his eyes, took a deep breath and fell off his branch. He shot through the air like a white streak and landed with a soft bump. Heavens, cried the man, a shooting star. Actually, I'm a barn owl, said the shooting star. What's that thing you've got there? A telescope, said the man. A barn owl, did you say? Well, I thought you were a meteor. How do you do? How do I what do? Asked Plop. Oh, you know what I mean. How are you? Hungry, said Plop. I thought you said I was a shooting star, not a meteor. A meteor is a shooting star. Oh, said Plop. What is the television for? Telescope. It's for looking at things like stars and planets. Ooh, can I have a look, please? Of course, said the man, but it's not very good night for it, I'm afraid. Too cloudy. I don't like dark very much, said Plop. Really, said the man. How very odd. You must miss such a lot. Dark is wonderful. Tell me, said Plop, please. I'll do better than that. I'll show you, the man said. Come, put your eye. No, this end. Plop had jumped down, scuttled along the telescope, and was now peering backwards between his feet into the wrong end. I can't see anything, he said. You surprise me, said the man. Try this end. Plop waddled back along the telescope, and the man supported him on his wrist so that his eye was level with the eyepiece. Now, can you see anything? Oh, yes, said Plop. It makes everything come nearer, doesn't it? I can see a bright, bright star. That must be very near. Yes. Just 54 million miles away, that's all. Million? Gasped Plop. Yes, that's Sirius, the dog star. You're quite right. It is one of the nearest. Obviously, millions and millions were nothing to the man with a telescope. Why is it called the dog star? Asked Plop. Because it belongs to Orion, the great hunter. Look, there he is. Can you see those three stars close together? Plop drew his head back from the telescope and blinked. "Can I change eyes?" he said. "This one's getting very tired." "Yes, of course. Now, see if you can find the Great Hunter." "He had 3 stars close together, did you say?" "Yes, that's his belt, and some fainter stars behind him." "Yes, that's his sword." "I've got him," shouted Plop. "I've got Orion, the Great Hunter. Oh, I never knew stars had names. Show me some more." "Well, we'll see if we can find the pole star, shall we? Hang on, I have to swing the telescope round for that." Plop had a ride on the telescope, and then the man showed him how to find the plough and 2 stars pointing straight up to the pole star. "That's a bright one too, isn't it?" said Plop. "Yes, there. Now, you can find that you need never get lost because that star is directly over the North Pole, so you'll always know where the North is." "Is that important?" asked Plop. "Very important," said the man. "Heavens, what was that?" An eerie long shriek had torn the peace of the sky. "Oh dear, I expect that's my daddy," said Plop. They looked up. A ghostly white form circled above them. "Yes, it is. I'd better let him know I'm here." "Eek!" "Oh," said the man, jumping. "You should warn people when you're going to do that, you know. I've often wondered what that noise was. Now I shall know it is only you and your father." "Or my mother," said Plop. "I really must go. Thank you very, very much for teaching me about the stars." He hopped onto the telescope, bowed his funny little bow. "Goodbye." "Goodbye, Master Barnowl. Good grazing. Good gazing." Plop flew up to join his father, and together they landed on the landing branch. "Well," said Plop's mother, "the man with the telescope says dark is wonderful, and he called me Master Barn Owl, and what do you think, Plop?" "I know what I think," said Mr. Barn Owl, not giving Plop a chance to reply. "I think Master Barn Owl has got a bit of a cheek to send his poor parents on an absolute urgent search for food, and then not bother to be in when they get back. I thought you were supposed to be starving." "I am starving," said Plop. "But did you know that the Dog Star is 54 million miles away?" "Do you want your dinner or don't you?" said Mr. Barn Owl. "Oh yes," said Plop. He gobbled down what his father had brought, and he gobbled down what his mother had brought, and not only did he not ask what it was that he had just eaten, but he did not even say, "What's next?" What he said was, "Daddy, do you know how to find the pole star? Shall I show you?" "By all means," said Mr. Barn Owl, giving his wife a slow wink. "Anything that can take your mind off your tummy, like this, must be worth seeing." Plop would not rest, and so neither could Mr. and Mrs. Owl, until he had made quite sure that he could recognise all the stars which the man with the telescope had shown him. He was still at it at 4 o'clock in the morning. "Now, are you quite sure you understand about the pole star?" he said to his mother, who seemed to be being a bit dense about it. "I think so, dear, you're Mrs. Barn Owl. You find the things that look like a plough, but it's actually a big bear, or is it a small bear? And the pole star is near the North Star." "The pole star is the North Pole," said Plop impatiently, "and the 2 stars at the front of the plough point to it. I don't think you're really trying. You haven't been listening." "Oh, we have," said Mr. Barn Owl. "We have been listening for hours and hours. I think perhaps Mummy is just a little bit tired." "But you must know how to find the pole star," said Plop, "or you might get lost." "I never get lost," said his father indignantly, "and neither does your mother. Now, be a good chap and go into the nest hole, and I'll see if I can find you something nice for your supper. You can have it in bed for once. "Oh, all right," said Plop. "But I really do feel that you should know about these things. I'll have to try to explain again tomorrow." Mr. Barn Owl turned to his wife in horror. "Oh, no. Not tomorrow night as well. I couldn't stand it." "Never mind, dear," said Mrs. Barn Owl soothingly. "You haven't had to do nearly as much hunting as usual." "I'm not at all sure that all this stargazing isn't much more wearing than filling the bottomless pit," groaned Mr. Barn Owl. "Oh, Daddy," Plop put his head out the nest hole. Did I tell you about Orion? Orion is the great hunter and oh, he's gone. Oh dear, he must finish his hunting before it gets light, said his mother. Now you get back in there and mind you wash behind your ears properly. I'm coming to inspect you in a minute. So Plop had his supper in bed, and then, like a real night owl, he slept right through the day. Speak to you later. We're going to have Dark is Beautiful next. Still got my little cushion. I love you all very, very much. And I'm going to start with Alice in Wonderland as soon as I've done this last one. Okay, kiddos, love you. See you later. Bye.